Sit with me in the silence for a moment. Look at the people who never seem to break. Life hits them the same way it hits you. The insult, the betrayal, the loss, the bad news at the worst possible time, and yet something inside them does not crack. It is not that they feel less than you, it is that nothing on the outside owns the space on the inside. Be honest with yourself right now. One message can ruin your entire day. One person's cold mood can decide yours. One setback can steal your peace for a week. If that is true, then you are not living your life. Your life is being lived by everyone and everything around you. But that can end today. Next few minutes, I am going to give you 10 Stoic lessons to build a mind that cannot be broken, not by people, not by pain, not by fear. I will warn you now, these lessons will not comfort you, they will confront you. Most people will hear them, nod their head, and change nothing. But if you stay with me until the very end, you will not just feel stronger, you will begin to think differently. And a man who thinks differently becomes impossible to break. Take a breath. Let's begin. The 10 lessons. Lesson 1: guard the gate. Nothing enters your mind without your permission. The first reason men break is simple. They let the whole world walk straight into their mind. Every insult, every opinion, every piece of bad news, the gate is wide open, and so anyone can come in and rearrange the furniture of their soul. The Stoics built a wall around that gate. Epictetus began his entire philosophy with one line: some things are within our power, and some things are not. Your reputation is not in your power. Other people's actions are not in your power. What happened yesterday is not in your power. But the gate, what you allow to enter and disturb you, that has always been yours. Picture a fortress with a single gate, and you are the only one who holds the key. An insult arrives at the wall, a rude driver, a cruel comment, a rejection. It cannot enter unless you open the gate and carry it inside. Most people fling the gate open for every stranger. The unbreakable man asks one question first: is this mine to control or not? If it is not, the gate stays shut. Do this. Tomorrow morning, split your day in two on paper. On one side write mine, my effort, my words, my response, my standards. On the other write not mine, their opinions, the outcome, the past, the weather. Then spend your energy only on the left column. Watch how much lighter you become. You have not become cold. You have become guarded in the way a king guards what matters. Lesson 2. Master the pause between the trigger and your reaction. Here is where almost everyone loses. Something happens and half a second later they have already reacted. The angry reply is sent. The face has already fallen. The damage is done before the thinking begins. A man ruled by his reactions can be controlled by anyone who knows which button to push. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire, reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The strength is not in controlling what happens. It is in the tiny space between what happens and what you do next." Think of an archer. Before he releases the arrow, he draws a slow breath and holds it. In that stillness is all of his control. Lose the breath, and the shot is wild. In your life, that breath is the pause. The trigger comes the message, the comment, the bad news, and instead of firing back, you hold. 1, 2, 3. In that gap, you are free. Outside of it, you are a puppet. Do this. The next time something stings, count 5 slow seconds before you say or do anything. Just 5. That pause is the whole difference between a man who is run by the world and a man who runs himself. And if these first 2 are already making you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is the old, breakable version of you starting to die. Stay with me, because the next lesson is the one that changes how you see every problem you will ever face. Lesson 3. It is your judgment, not the event, that wounds you. Two men lose the same job on the same day. One is destroyed, he cannot sleep, he feels worthless, he spirals for months. The other treats it as a door closing, so a better one can open, and within weeks he has moved on, stronger. Same event, opposite lives. What made the difference? Not the event, the judgment about the event. Epictetus said it with brutal clarity. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. The layoff did not carry the pain. The story, I am a failure, my life is over, carried the pain. And imagine two travelers caught in the same storm. One curses the sky and calls it a disaster. The other pulls his cloak tighter and thinks, this will pass, and I will be tougher for having stood in it. The rain does not care which man it falls on. The storm is neutral. The suffering is authored inside. Do this. When something hurts, take out your phone or a piece of paper. Write the bare fact in one line, she did not reply. Then, underneath, write the story you added. She hates me, I always get rejected. Then cross the story out. What remains is almost always survivable. The wound was in the ink you added, not in the event itself. Lesson 4. Rehearse the hardship before it arrives. The reason a hard day flattens most people is not that it is hard. It is that they expected the day to be easy. They built their whole piece on the assumption that nothing would go wrong, and so the first thing that goes wrong shatters them. The unbreakable man has already met the difficulty in his mind before it arrives in his life. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. Seneca wrote, he robs present ills of their power who has foreseen their coming. He did not do this to feel miserable. He did it so that nothing could ambush him. Think of a soldier who trains in peacetime. He rehearses the battle 1,000 times when no enemy is near, so that when the real moment comes, his hands already know what to do. He is calm because he has been here before, in his mind. The man who never trains panics the instant the first blow lands. Do this. Each morning, take 60 seconds and name 3 things that could go wrong today. A rude client, a plan that falls through, a criticism. For each one, decide now how the calm version of you will respond. When one of them actually happens, you will not be shaken. You will think, I already met you this morning. Lesson 5 Amor Fati. Stop fighting reality and start using it. So much of your energy is burned on a single useless wish that reality were different than it is. The traffic should not be here. This should not have happened to me. He should not have said that. Every second you spend fighting what already is, you lose because reality has already won. It happened. Your protest changes nothing except your peace. Epictetus gave the cure. Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and your life will go well. This is not weakness or surrender. It is the redirection of your force away from the wall you cannot move and toward the door you can. Picture a sailor. He cannot command the wind. A weak sailor curses it and goes nowhere. A master sailor sets his sails to whatever wind blows and uses it to reach his destination. The wind that would have wrecked him now carries him. Amor fati, a love of one's fate, is learning to sail every wind, even the cruel ones. Do this. The next time something goes wrong, replace the words, "Why is this happening to me?" with one question: how can I use this? A betrayal teaches you who to trust. A failure teaches you where you were weak. A delay gives you time you did not know you needed. Nothing is wasted on the man who asks the better question. We are halfway. Notice something I have not once told you: to control other people, or to control what happens to you. Every lesson has pointed back to the one place real power lives: inside you. The next 5 are where the mind stops merely defending itself and becomes genuinely unbreakable. Keep going. Lesson 6. Adversity is the forge, not the enemy. You have been taught that a good life is one with no hardship, So every time hardship comes, you feel that something has gone wrong, that you are being punished, that you are unlucky. And that belief makes you soft, because you spend your life avoiding the very thing that would make you strong. Seneca turned it upside down. Fire is the test of gold, adversity of strong men. The hardship is not the interruption of your growth, it is your growth. Comfort has never built a single strong man in the history of the world. Watch a blade being made. The iron is buried in fire until it glows, then hammered again and again on the anvil. If the iron could feel, it would think it was being destroyed. But that fire and those blows are the only things that turn a lump of soft metal into a sword that will not bend. Remove the fire, and you do not have a blade, you have scrap. Do this. The next time you are in the fire, a hard season, a loss, a struggle, stop asking, when will this be over? And start asking, what is this making me into? Treat each hard day as one repetition at the gym of your character. The weight is not there to crush you, it is there to build you. A man who believes this cannot be broken by hardship, because he has started to use it. Lesson 7. Hold everything with an open hand. Much of your fear is really the fear of losing something, a person, a status, a possession, an image of your future. And the tighter you grip, the more terrified you become, because deep down you know that everything can be taken. A man who is ruled by the fear of loss is a man who can be controlled by the threat of it. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who could lose more than most, wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. Nothing you have was ever truly permanent. You do not own your life and its blessings, you are holding them for a while." Imagine trying to hold a handful of sand. Grip it tight and it pours out between your fingers. You are left with almost nothing and an aching hand. Rest it on an open palm and it stays. The Stoic holds everything, his health, his people, his work, the way you hold a bird on an open palm. Cherished, never crushed, free to fly. He loves fully, but he does not cling. Do this. Take the thing you are most afraid to lose. Quietly, in your mind, rehearse life without it, not to be morbid, but to remove its power to terrorize you. When you have made peace with the possibility of losing it, two things happen. The fear loosens its grip on you, and you appreciate the thing far more while you still have it. Lesson 8. Shrink your problem with the view from above. When you are standing inside a problem, it fills your entire sky. A single argument, a bad week, an embarrassing mistake feels enormous, permanent, world-ending, because you are pressed right up against it and can see nothing else. This closeness is what breaks men, not the problem's true size, but its size when your face is pushed into it. The Stoics practiced what is called the view from above. Marcus would deliberately zoom out, picture the whole city, the whole earth, the vast stretch of time, until his troubles returned to their real, smaller proportions. Think of the whole of existence, he wrote, and how small your part in it. Think of the whole of time, and how brief your moment. Stand in a narrow street, and a single building blocks your entire view. Climb the mountain above the city, and that same building is a speck among thousands. The crowds are invisible, and the noise is gone. Nothing about the building changed. Your position changed. The unbreakable man can climb that mountain in his mind whenever he chooses. Do this. When a problem is crushing you, ask one question. Will this matter in 5 years? Almost always, the honest answer is no. Then act on today's problem with the calm of a man who already knows its true size. Zoom out, and most catastrophes shrink back into mere inconveniences. 2 lessons left, and these are the deepest. Everything so far has been about how you meet the world. The last 2 are about the one relationship that decides all the others, your relationship with yourself. This is where unbreakable men are truly made. Stay to the end, because the final lesson ties all 10 together. Lesson 9. Silence the hunger for approval and build an inner scorecard. Here is a strange thing Marcus Aurelius noticed about human beings. It never ceases to amaze me that we all love ourselves more than other people, yet care more about their opinion of us than our own. Read that twice. You are the one person you can never escape, and yet you have handed the judgment of your entire worth to strangers who think about you for seconds and then forget you exist. That is why you feel breakable. If your sense of worth lives in other people's mouths, then every one of them holds a piece of you, and any of them can drop it. You cannot be unbreakable while your foundation is stored outside your own body. Think of a candle and the sun. A candle depends on its surroundings. One gust of wind, one breath, and it is out. It flickers and panics at every movement of air. The sun asks no one's permission to burn. It does not dim because clouds disapprove. A man who lives for approval is a candle in a world full of wind. A man with an inner scorecard is the sun. Do this. Every night, grade yourself on one question only. Not, did they like me, but did I act according to my own values today? Did I keep my word? Did I do the work? Did I treat people well? When your scorecard moves inside, the crowd loses its grip on you. Praise becomes pleasant but unnecessary. Criticism becomes information, not injury. This is the quiet, solid ground the unbreakable man stands on. Lesson 10. Become the observer. You are the sky, not the storm. Here is the lesson that holds the other 9 together. Most people are their emotions. When anger comes, they become anger. When fear comes, they become fear. There is no space between the man and the feeling, and so the feeling drives the car off the road every single time. The Stoic learns to step back and watch the feeling instead of drowning in it. Marcus wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." But he also knew there was a part of him that could observe those thoughts without being ruled by them. That watching self is where your freedom lives. Think of the sky and the weather. Storms come thunder, black clouds, violent rain, but the sky itself is never damaged by the storm. The clouds pass across it, the sky remains, vast and untouched, holding all of it. You are not the storm of your emotions, you are the sky in which they move. Anger will come and go, fear will come and go, grief will come and go, and the deep, watching you, remains. Do this. The next time a strong emotion rises, change one word. Instead of, "I am angry," say quietly, "Anger is here." Instead of, "I am afraid," say, "Fear is passing through." That small shift creates the space between you and the feeling, and in that space, you choose your response instead of being dragged by it. This is the whole art. This is what it means to be unbreakable, not that the storms stop coming, but that you finally know you are the sky. So there they are, 10 lessons. Guard the gate, master the pause, judge the event rightly, rehearse the hardship, love your fate, trust the forge, hold with an open hand, take the view from above, build the scorecard within, and become the observer. None of these ask the world to be gentle with you. That is the point. You will never control the storms. But a man who lives these 10 stops needing the storms to stop because nothing outside him owns the space inside him anymore. That man cannot be broken. Not by people, not by pain, not by fear. Start with just one. Pick the lesson that struck you hardest and live it for the next 7 days. One lesson, lived, is worth more than 10 lessons merely admired. If this gave you something today, sit with it before you move on to the next noise. And when the world tries to shake you tomorrow, and it will remember where your power lives, stay unshaken.